Okay.
Okay, the Hazleton City Council work session will come to order on Tuesday, March 11, 2014. It's 7 o'clock. We'll just, before we start the meeting, we're going to have a work session. I guess first up is Benecon. Joe?
Thanks. Hi, my name's Joe Pilla. I'm here representing Benecon and ETA Benefits in Nesquehoning regarding the health plan and converting the existing health plan financial arrangement over to the Benecon consortium with other cities and townships and boroughs. I'm not sure if you were able to get looks like you're looking at some packets there, if that was circulated. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a copy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have one. You have one for me?
Yeah, a second one if you don't mind.
Give me.
Yeah, we could share. We could share ours.
Yeah.
I'll look on with you.
Thank you.
I don't remember. Oh,
Do we have any more?
Here.
I'll look on it.
Got lots of copies.
Jack and I can share.
Yeah.
Here.
I remember the numbers.
Oh, he has one?
Yeah, I have
I remember the numbers. But go ahead. You could.
Yeah, we were here back in
Wanted to make sure.
We were here in early December, I believe, just to kind of get council's input on the program. There's really no change to Blue Cross. There's no change to the employees as far as what their benefits are. They would get new ID cards, but that's just a matter of formality with Blue Cross. And we're proposing to move the program over to the consortium for May 1st. So we wanted to get your approval on it prior to the 15th of March, and that would allow us to get the program started by May 1st. The high points, the high points of the program are strictly financial, and using the city's money that you would otherwise send off to Blue Cross in a premium every month, and we would put it into the consortium, and we would, it's more of a self-funded cooperative, and there's protection with stop-loss insurance, and many other cities and boroughs and municipalities participate in the program. And by the end of the year, which would be December 31st, because we would get this pushed to a calendar year program, by the end of December 31st of this year, we would have a minimum savings to the city of $62,000, but our actuaries are predicting $248,000 as being a savings. Primarily, that's derived from forcing and pushing some of the claims to the stop-loss insurance to take the pressure off of the actual premium and claims fund, and we would push that to the stop-loss carrier. It's all actuarially equivalent, if you will, and we feel very strongly about it, and we have many other cities and townships throughout eastern and central Pennsylvania in the program, and we're just looking for your blessing to move forward. We presented it to administration. They did not have a problem with it, and there was actually some savings in administrative, clerical type of activities in the business office or the personnel office up here, as far as helping consolidate bills, added benefits to the employees if they had any problems. Denise and I were local. Denise is in the area, and I'm down in Nesquehoning. We can be available to employees if they had any problems or questions, but there's really no change to their benefit.
Did you have any contact with any of the union heads or the department heads in explaining any of this to any of our departments at all?
No, it was all discussion with administration. The solicitor was in on a meeting, just kind of passing, because there's no change to benefit. It's really funding. It's instead of taking that check every month and sending it to Blue Cross, we would put it in the consortium and pay the insurance that way. So,
It's just the fact that I would like them to
okay.
be,
And if that's the next step, we would like to take that approach.
Well, okay, but we don't have to do that because we're not changing any benefits. So
Correct.
they don't have a say or a vote or anything.
Right.
no, it's just informational.
Yeah.
Informational, which we would do in the next 45 days. So
Or
we're
even
talking.
if you send something out, like a packet, so that they could see what we're doing. So.
Actually, there would probably be some added benefits there because they would have some extra level of service that they may have never tapped into before. So that probably would be a good idea to actually meet with them I'm just not sure who to contact at this time.
Yeah. A bind here.
I know you're in
But
a little bit of
you need
bind.
something signed by next,
The 15th, which is
Friday.
Saturday, so this Friday to get this started by May 1st.
well, I think we're all in agreement here that this could save, it's not going to change anybody's benefits. It might, help in some way, service claims and,
Right. There'd be immediate cash flow savings because we're going to take the money and shift it around, so there's,
but, maybe we should direct the administration, if anybody has any objections, to maybe have something signed by next week. If no one has any objections, do you have any exceptions?
I don't have any objections.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, are you?
It's going to save money?
Yeah, I was for it in December when they
Okay.
came before.
Okay. Jeff, how about you?
I'm good.
Okay, well, we're going to direct the administration to get something signed. Maybe, Lisa, you could send a letter from council to please sign the agreement with Benecon
Okay.
to get it started on our savings.
Yeah, there's the ordinance doesn't need to be signed by Friday, it's just some of the other
We just
paperwork.
have to direct somebody, and we could
Right.
sign the ordinance later.
Right,
Or-
right. It's
or-
just,
Or pass the ordinance later.
right, it's, Blue Cross is the one with the timeline because they need to
And
know.
the later you wait, the less savings.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Well, then
Yeah, these
that's
savings are projected on May 1st,
from May to December.
May till December.
And what is it, like a year contract or for you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would go on a calendar year contract then.
And if we don't like it, then we could dump it?
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
That's fine.
They've had
Oh, I
98%
wanna
98% retention rate.
Really?
Yep,
That's
it's
pretty
worked
good.
out. Yeah, when we show up in January and February well, you could decide what you want to do with the refund, either put it back into the claims fund or put it back into
So
the
you have a
city's.
98% retention rating?
98,
Yeah, 98.
98% retention rate.
Okay, we'll direct the administration to get something signed, and hopefully someone will
By-
sign something by next week.
Yeah, we're actually hoping by Friday, because Friday's the
Next Friday,
14th.
okay.
By this Friday,
Yeah,
this
this
week.
Friday, Jack,
So we got three more days,
3 business days.
3 business days to get this going for May 1st.
We'll send that an email to the mayor and the new administrator.
Okay. And we could meet with the union in the next couple of weeks. That would not
I
be a
mean,
problem.
Are you comfortable?
I mean, Steve looked at it and said everything was fine and there were no
Mm-hmm. He
change
didn't
in
have any,
benefits.
he really didn't have any philosophical differences or problems with
And the
it.
mayor, he didn't have any problems either, or
Denise was
any
in that.
concerns? Not at the time? Okay, he seems on board. Okay, well, we'll send a directive to him saying that, we have to sign something.
Okay.
And get something over there so that they could sign.
So the mayor would sign it?
Well, the mayor or the administrator, I don't know who has to sign it.
Have to.
No, they said the council president could sign it, Benecon, so that's why I was.
Either the city admin,
I think it's best right now until we get everything straightened out with
Well,
our
we'll check that out. But
Yeah.
like I said, we're on board with it. If it's going to save money, no change in benefits, we're on board.
right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Next,
direct energy.
Direct Energy. You could come up and,
How you doing?
good.
It's been a couple of months since I've been here. I'm Joe Clifford from the C Group Energy Services Company from Cunningham. Let me, in the form of a background of what we're looking at here tonight, the Broad Street project's nearing completion. As a result of that, the street lighting and traffic lights are now being energized down the entire street. The project has 14 new meters associated with it. The street lights and the traffic lights are metered as compared to the street lighting throughout the city that is not metered. When the new meters were installed, the new accounts established, they went on the PPL Electric Utilities default rate. That's the rate that people get if no one chooses an electric supplier. Today, the price per kilowatt hour is 10.391 cents per kilowatt hour. Working with the administration, we decided to go out for some pricing. We reached out to 7 different companies for prices. We received prices which I consider to be competitive from 4 companies. The lowest was Direct Energy. The price in front of you, I believe, is 7629. That represents a 22% reduction in price per cents per kilowatt hour as compared to the PPL default rate. Just before I came here, I reached out to Direct again and got a refresh price. So the price that will actually be executed will be a little bit less than the price you have in front of you. I don't think that's not a bad thing, right? That when the price goes down on a resolution. But anyway, it's 7585 will be the price. I'm also recommending a shorter term contract. That this contract go to the end of this budget year. Energy companies base their price on historical usage. They're risk adverse. They want to know how much you're going to use before they price it. These particular meters don't have a lot of history because they've just been installed. Several have just been installed within the last month. So I'm recommending that you enter into a 9-month contract that goes to the end of this budget year. And in this budget year, this will save you about $4,600 as compared to staying on the PPL rate. After you establish the history, we'll go out and get some additional pricing, and I'm very confident that you'll get pricing for 2015 that will be lower than the price that I have in front of you right now. Do you have any questions?
Is there any advantage if we wait any longer to get a lower price, Joe?
I don't think there is. Okay, energy prices have gone up, through the roof in the last couple of months with this cold winter. I think what you're up against here is that you're on that PPL default rate, and I believe the sooner you get off that, the better off you are. That's costing an additional $500 a month above this price here. So yeah, if we waited a little bit longer, I think there is that possibility, but I think it would wipe out the potential savings. From my point of view, I don't see energy prices going down that much in the short term, Jack.
Is this a fixed rate?
It is a fixed rate, all-inclusive, not variable. No, this is a locked-in price. This is not anything that's going to go up and down like you've seen in the paper. And I think that's the benefit of some of the contracts that the city's locked in the last year. They're all fixed. One that we put in place in August was the market was way low. That's going to come into effect in May, which will put your street lighting cost below 4 cents a kilowatt hour. So that deal was just done at a different point in time. So all your prices are locked fixed for the full term.
Till December 31st?
Pardon me?
Till the end of the year?
For this particular contract. The other contracts that go into place are, I'm going to say 19 months. They go to the end of the 2015 budget year.
What other contracts?
The contract for the street lighting that was entered into in August that goes into effect in May. That's at 3.95 cents per kilowatt hour. That one's been executed.
How come that's so low and this is so different?
That one's low for a couple of reasons. One, the deal was done in August when the market was low, and it goes into effect in May. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is that's strictly street lighting. So all of those kilowatt hours are basically during the evening or low cost periods of time.
Off-peak hours?
Yeah, off-peak hours. The metered accounts that you have a combination of loads. They have the street lighting load that's in the evening, but they also have the traffic lights that are going 24/7, so you're going to see some daytime load. Not to get down into the weeds also, Jack, why I think you're going to get a lower price next year is because there is no history with these accounts. PPL Electric Utility has assigned what they call a default KW for your capacity. It's like 3 kW. In reality, once we get through this summer, it'll probably go down to 1 kW. But because they haven't experienced summer load on some of these meters, they estimate it to be 3 kW, which is the average of the rate class. So I see it going down for the ability to lower this in 2015 is much better than it would be to lower it right today.
Right, because we won't have really any kind of load base for the summer, so no matter if we do it now or do it in May, it's probably going to be kind of comparable rates.
That's correct.
But we might end up losing $1,000 by waiting.
That's correct. I
So
mean,
if we wait, each month is $500.
$500 for, yeah, just $511, okay, is the difference
Difference.
per month, yes.
And you don't think that it's going to be any different,
I don't believe it is.
yeah.
You know, not based on what I see in cold weather coming back in again, you know, and they said electricity prices have gone through the ceiling in the last couple of
What
months.
about I guess the state's going to investigate some problems with the pricing, or the Attorney General's going to investigate some pricing.
Yes,
They're going to investigate some companies.
yes.
It's not Direct Energy, is it?
I don't believe so. The companies that I got prices from are all companies that provide whatever option you want, but I prefer fixed price, lock it in, know what it is, negotiate it up front, so you don't get any budget uncertainty, which you don't really need, you know, during the year. But no, these companies that I have on this list will, in all likelihood, not be involved in that investigation.
Did Steve look over everything and say everything was
Yes, I met
all
with
right?
Steve on Friday, and
He was fine with it?
yes,
Do you think we need to give our new administrator a chance to look at it, or what do you think?
you know, that decision's yours. These prices change every day.
Yeah.
Okay, and I could lock this price in. I'd be more than happy to sit with the new administrator, whomever that is. I didn't know there was a new administrator.
Well, I mean, if we could save $500 off the bat,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to delay it because we have a new administrator, and, I mean, yeah, there's some things that we probably have to delay and not go into because we have a new administrator, and plus we're not sure what budget we're using, but, I mean, if this is going to save us some money, and the longer we wait, we're losing $500 a month.
I think that's the case, Jack. I don't want to sound as if I'm being overly pushy here, but the fact is the prices change every day. It is $511 a month.
What was it like, say, a month ago?
I just did a projection here because these are all coming
Yeah.
on. Like the meter on Poplar Street was just installed like 3 weeks ago. But if you don't do anything right now, you'd stay with PPL, the energy cost for the street lighting for the remainder of this budget year would be around $20,000. So roughly speaking, with this proposal, it'll be $15,400.
So we're saving money.
Well, I don't.
Compared to where you're at today, you're saving money, yes.
So, okay. So if we waited to the next meeting, is that waiting a month, or when will this go into effect, even if we waited to the next meeting?
This would be for a delivery date in April. If you wait for the next meeting, it would be pushed into May.
So we'd lose $500.
Yeah, again, not to get into all the detail, but when a company is selected, they have to put in an enrollment transaction that needs to be submitted to PPL 15 days ahead of the next meter reading. So timing is very important, that the company gets the enrollment in, so the switch.
It's just like doing it for your house. I mean, when you switch, it doesn't happen the next day. It happens a month or two down the road.
Correct.
And you're not guaranteed to have 0.07585. There's a possibility that it could be lower, but there's also a possibility that it can be higher.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
like
If I had
the
a deal,
exchange rates change every day.
if I had a deal in probabilities, I think the probability of the price going up is probably higher than the probability of the price going down.
Especially if the cold continues like it's supposed to through April.
Yep.
Well, then how,
Exactly.
yeah, but how they run the government with nothing.
That's what I told
I think the other thing with this particular contract, Jack, is it's 9 months. It's not like you're tying in for 3-4 years.
So it's to the
It's a
December.
short-term deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm for all saving money, and any amount of money as soon as we can. I mean, I know we have problems with our budget, and
Absolutely.
I don't know if, how that affects it, but Dave, do you have a problem signing a contract? Or you think it could be a problem?
Well, again, and we just spoke for a second beforehand. What I was concerned about was buying energy on a longer range, but you're saying we can't buy because we don't have a history with these lights. Is there no way of being able to compare that with local communities that have a similar situation as we do to get a history out of that? Or
There is,
it's
and
just not going to happen?
To be able to get the price that I got, I constructed load profiles for Direct Energy and submitted those load profiles based on the hourly metered data of some of the meters that are here, showing what the typical profile would be. The reason I'm saying not to enter, and I'm not recommending you enter into a longer-term contract, is I think once you establish the history, 2015 will be a much lower price. If I go out and try to get a longer-term price today, I think it's going to stay in that 7.5 cent range.
Yeah, no, the only reason, I did see some of this within the last few months when I was with the Water Authority. And, I mean, they use an awful lot more energy with all of their pumps and with all of their system than the city would, especially as well off time, but as well on time, on peak times. But the rates that they were getting, because they were, there's no company that will sell us even for 9 months on, I mean, some companies buy on out for years.
Yes, they all do.
I think Direct Energy, one of the problems that they have is that they buy on a month-by-month basis, don't they?
No, the deal you're referring to, I believe that the Water
Yeah.
Authority was on to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the way that deal was constructed, okay? Direct Energy buys energy, and they're a very major international company. They buy forward prices, they buy in the wholesale. But the particular deal you're talking about, the only piece of that contract that was fixed was the fees for the associated with the brokerage. That was a variable rate from day one, okay? And that price fluctuated because of the way the deal was structured. I believe the company you chose recently was Mid-American.
Yes.
Yeah, Warren Buffett's company, which is a great company. If you take a look at the list of prices that I got there, that was one of the companies I got pricing from. The Water Authority has what we call very, very good load factor. It's like flat 24/7. Right. Not only that, they entered into a contract with demand response, which lowered that capacity element of their bill that I referred to before, where PPL is assigning a default value to this. They got a great deal. That was a great negotiation. I congratulate you for that. It's just that right now this one account's not in the position to do that. It will be, but just not today. And I've had plenty of discussions with the people from Iowa and out in Mid-America. Okay. Good company.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah,
I've reached out to them.
That number was much better than,
Absolutely.
in fact, even the 7 point or 0.7585. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was better than the 0.46.
It was what?
I think it was better than the point or 4.6 cents, if I remember correctly.
It could be. I'd have to look at the deal. Sometimes they unbundle it. They'll give you the energy price, ancillary services, and so you have a good deal. And they're a good company, and that's why I reached out for them.
But you're saying that that's in the cards for next year?
Absolutely.
It's not in the cards for this year?
I don't think in the short term it's in your interest. No.
Okay.
Question I have is.
Thank you.
Possibly a legal one, and we don't have a solicitor here at this particular time. Or if the mayor would have come, maybe he could have answered our question, but right now, I don't know if we even have an ability to go into a contract at this time until we get some certain matters straightened out. So, at this point, I think it should be tabled, but that's up to the rest of council. I'm all for a savings. I don't want to lose that $500 if at all possible, but right now I don't know where we stand legally. And you don't know
That's your call. I just going to give you my recommendation, and if you want to hold it for a couple of days to talk to your solicitor, I'll see what we could do. I don't know what action.
I mean, if we have to call a special meeting, I'd be willing to do that.
Would it, how about waiting a week rather than 2 weeks?
Yeah, again, I don't know your protocol. If you want to approve it pending
Pending-
approval of the solicitor for legal
Okay,
purposes?
maybe
Well,
we could,
isn't the solicitor supposed to look at these, doesn't all of this go through the solicitor before it comes to us?
It's supposed to, but it doesn't sometimes.
Well,
But he's also
that's
supposed to,
what-
he's
And-
also supposed to initial it, and he
I would
doesn't do
agree
that.
with that. I would agree with what you just said, Keith. My problem right now is that I don't think that we have an opinion from that.
It's not
that-
this
that
contract
goes.
we're having a problem
And
with.
that's not
it's
your
the
fault.
budget.
And that's not his
Under
fault, that's not
1809.
anybody's fault
We're
right
gonna be
now,
in
except
trouble
that
if we pass any
where we're
contracts,
at.
according to the mayor.
And that's, I understand what Jeannie's talking about right now, too. And-
Dr. Sosa, I'm working on your behalf.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, no,
I
we
just give you the
appreciate that.
information.
We do
and-
appreciate that,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
but maybe we could amend it to say your contract pending approval by the solicitor who says it's okay to enter into a contract.
Yeah, and if he moves on it, I mean, I could bring this contract up tomorrow, but tomorrow it won't change the price. The price will be locked in. But yeah, that's a good compromise. And
We'll amend it to include that approval by the solicitor that
Okay.
we're okay to enter into a contract.
and I'll run the contract up tomorrow. And if he approves it, fine. If he doesn't, we'll just figure out what we need to do from there.
Yeah, we have the ability to approve a contract. That's what we need to know. And-
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, thanks.
Thanks. Any other things on our work session to talk about? Do have
Did
any
you need
questions?
to, I mean, I noticed that you tabled the contract with Alfred Benish, and did you need to?
Well, that was tabled the last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you needed to, I didn't know if you were planning on talking about that during the work session or not.
Well, we could talk
Well,
about
if
it.
you want to discuss,
I mean, I don't know if any, what,
there is something I'd like to bring up. We have an ordinance that's on with the HALO and the rental registration that we're going to be, I believe, in a lawsuit with. But it's also tied in with rental registration. And I would like Chris Lesser to try to separate the two, if at all possible, because he would know how to do it best, I think, because he created it to begin with. And I would like him to separate the two, that it doesn't affect our contract with Northeast Revenue for rental registration, but we would be able to repeal the landlord ordinance part so that possibly we would be able to sit down, negotiate, and work out a compromise with the city and the landlords so that we do not end up in costing the city money in a lawsuit. So I don't know how anybody feels about that at this time, but, you know, I would like to have Lisa send Chris an email on that. Is everybody all
I
right
did
with
talk to Chris about, he was supposed to be working on splitting that up.
that? Who is?
Chris,
Chris, he is?
we had talked about it.
Okay, well, for the record, Lisa.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't want it to affect the contract we have with Northeast Revenue.
Well, one of the things that I think is important with that, though, too, is, and we've heard a few times Attorney Slusser say that, he was continuing on with depositions and all that because that was, if we're going to get into this, is there some way that we can also send a message to him to cease and desist everything? Because we're in the midst of changing the ordinance, we're in the midst of negotiating.
We did talk to him
And we should tell
about that.
him
and
that it's got to come to an end.
At an executive session, we told him to hold off on a lot of litigation, the Verkusky and a lot of stuff, to hold off on it until, well, the Verkusky, I had an expert look at that, and as well as the HALO, at that executive session,
Yeah.
we told him to just don't do anything, but I don't know if he's listened to us or listens to the mayor.
Well, again, I think we ought to just put it in the memo nonetheless.
Yeah.
I think it would be best kept.
That we want him to stop.
We want him to cease and
Stop.
desist so that we can sit
And
down
we
and
want
iron
him
these
to,
things
we
out.
want him to separate, we want him to, well, we're gonna probably keep the registrations going without the inspections, and we're gonna come up with a new ordinance that everyone could live with. So that's what our goal is. Hopefully, we can do that quickly.
Yeah.
And that would preclude anyone from doing anything legal or moving anything forward or costing any of us any money. So that's what we're doing. Whether the mayor or Chris listens, that's another story. But that's what we're going to do.
For the record.
Okay? Any other questions? Anything else for the work session? Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the work session and then we'll start our regular meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay, the work session is adjourned. Now, the Hazleton City Council regular meeting Tuesday, March 11th, 2014 will come to order at 7:35. Moment of silent meditation. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Bast,
Here.
Cassatt,
Here.
Mope,
Here.
Sosar,
Here.
Mundy.
Here. Next is approving the minutes of the previous meeting, January 28, 2014. It was tabled. And approving the minutes for February 11, 2014, and February 25th, 2014, regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Are they all okay?
Do you have to take it off the table first?
Oh, yeah, a motion to take it off the table?
Second.
Okay. On the question?
Is everybody okay with the minutes?
I'm okay with them.
Are you?
Yeah. Are you okay, Dave?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, minutes passed. Next is proclamations, communications, none.
Excuse me, point of order.
Oh, sorry.
If we tabled, now we have to vote
Oh,
on
okay.
the actual minutes, Mr. President.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Lisa, call a vote on the minutes.
Oh, yeah, vote on the minutes, roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Proclamations, communications, none. Next is courtesy to the floor regarding matters on our agenda only.
Dee Deacus, Hazleton. Since you were discussing sending a memo to the mayor about the health insurance, shouldn't that be a resolution rather than just a memo?
Well,
So there's-
all they need is something signed to get it going, and then we're going to, they have something for us that we're going to, I guess, put on the agenda and pass. So
Okay.
we want to, get it started, the savings, so starts in May, right, Joe?
Right, well, I'm just saying that the mayor doesn't have to do anything if you don't have a resolution.
Well, he ignores ordinances too,
Okay.
just as
thank
much
you.
as memos.
Grace Kuzo. Resolution 2014-41. What happened to the savings we were seeing, in August, what was it, 40,000? Is there another contract I'm missing? Remember we were having an energy savings of 40,000? I'm looking at a lot of energy contracts, so forgive me here. I might be mixing
I mean,
things.
that was with the street, go ahead, Joe, you could answer that if you could, if you will.
There's actually two contracts that are in effect today. One for the, let's say, the City Hall buildings, traffic lights, and general services. And there was a contract for the street light, okay, which was the second contract. They both expire in May, and there'll be two new contracts put in place to replace those. Both of those contracts have significantly lower prices than the prices that are in effect today.
Then this is in essence for two contracts.
Now, this is in essence for one of
One.
The meters, this is for the meters.
These are for all brand-new meters along
Broad Street.
Correct. There's 14 brand new meters that didn't exist before. So this would be a contract to address those.
It's a separate one. I'm sorry, but why aren't we just going through, like the other one was, just through direct energy? I'm losing this, so you have to understand, I'm reading
This is
20
direct
other...
energy, yeah, this is direct energy.
She means
Oh.
directly.
I know it is with direct energy, but previously it was just right with, I don't believe it was with you. Was it with you?
I'm the broker on the deal, but all three contracts link up to direct energy.
Okay, thank you.
It was the
The question
savings,
is, were you the broker for the other contracts?
and that one was the savings that we were hearing about that came to about 46,000, which is the street lighting.
Related to the street lighting, cost at that time was around 8.5 cents a kilowatt hour. The new contract went into place, it's less than 4 cents a kilowatt.
And that was the one. That was the one that we were talking about. It's not Broad Street, it's the rest of the city. Okay. And that clears up what we were talking about before. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Any other, go ahead.
Mark.
Mark Rabo, First Street. I still have a problem with that contract with Alfred Benish regarding the CD. It's still a conflict of interest because Dominic Yanuzzi is the city engineer, and he's also the executive director of the Redevelopment Authority. And you guys are going to enter into a contract using CD money to his firm. So unless there's a way that, doesn't present a conflict, and I think that this should be voted down. I think that there's 5 other companies that were on the bid. I think one of those companies could suffice. I mean, unless Dominic wants to step down from the Redevelopment Authority or a city engineer, I don't think that this should be, the city should enter into a contract with Alfred Benish using CD money, that is. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other comments? Go ahead, Teddy. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything. Ted Sherrock, Hazleton. I'm just kind of curious. Councilwoman Mope had a question of the lack of a solicitor. Where's the council solicitor tonight?
Oh.
Could he answer your question?
He's on vacation this week, which was planned ahead of time. Our advisor.
Yeah. Would he be able to give you that point of legality rather than our solicitor, or does it have to be the city?
Yeah, we could have.
Well, there's 2 of them in that firm. You should see that when they go on vacation, they're both on vacation now. Just split it up and see that they.
Well, the problem was they planned their vacations before they came on board with us. So.
Just nitpicking, but I was kind of curious that
yeah,
the whole thing of an advisor was to have legal counsel for counsel, and now we don't have it.
And I agree, and that's why,
Thank you.
unfortunately, Chris has a medical problem, so he's not here.
Right. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Next, old business, ordinances, none, resolutions. Resolution 2014-37, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Alfred Benish and Company for engineering services for their Office of Community Development. Table 22514.
I'll move to take it off the table.
Second.
On the motion to take it off the table, roll call.
Bast,
Yes.
Cassett,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Go ahead. You have any
Okay, for
comments?
purposes-
Go ahead.
Okay, just for purposes of discussion, I'll move to present Resolution 2014-37.
I'll second.
You're just putting it back up.
Putting
Yeah.
it back up.
Okay,
that's
it's
all.
on the question now.
On the question. I'd like to make a motion to amend it.
I want to second it.
You don't even know what it is
Okay,
yet.
I didn't say
okay.
what
Or do you know what it is already?
It's okay.
already know what it
That's
is?
okay. That's okay. Go ahead. Give us your.
I'd like
your-
to
I already know what I want to do.
add Barry Eisen and Associates in place of Albert Benish.
And now I'll second it.
Okay, on the question, what,
Roll call.
we have to vote on it, yeah, because you amended it. I think we have to vote on it.
Yeah, we have to vote on the amendment.
Uh,
And let me
Oh.
just say this.
Do
well,
we know what
we're
the
gonna-
do I
after-
know the
We have to
contract for
vote
that?
on it. No, we have to vote on the amendment, and then it'll come back to discussion.
Okay.
Okay, on the amendment.
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes,
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Okay, on the question? Go ahead, Jeannie, you could.
well, the reason I wanted to amend it is due to the fact that we already have a contract in place with Barry Isaac. They're in the middle of a project. We had the option to renew their contract for another year, and I don't think it would be beneficial for us right now to switch in the middle of the stream. And that was my reason for wanting to amend this, to have it go back to Barry Isaac. Thank you.
Any other, Jeff?
I would just like to finish the projects that we had started.
Any other comments, Dr. Sosa?
No, sir, thank you.
Any other comments?
How about you,
Okay.
Keith?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah, I looked at some of the scoring, and the mayor gave some scores that I thought sort of weren't in line with what they should be. So as far as the overall contract, I had some problems with the mayor's scoring. And I think Barry Isaac's been doing a good job, and I don't think there's a reason to replace him.
Well, there are some projects right now that
Yeah.
have, that they are in the middle of. And I would agree with you, Mr. Cassatt, that once started, I think you finished the full course. So,
Because there's a grant involved.
Yeah, there's
and
grants
I don't
involved.
want to see us losing that grant. I think if we have to bring somebody else up to speed, and they're already at speed, it's wasting time, we may lose the grant. And that's why I feel they should stay on board.
Is Fallon here? Fallon, do you want to say something or make some comments?
I just would like to say, I mean, it's up to you what you would like to do. I can't tell you how to vote. I would say, though, 3 months have lapsed since I've had an engineer. I need to get my projects going.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, Benish did come out with the scoring, with the highest score. So I don't know if there's any legality issues with that. I would have to consult.
I did ask Chris.
Did the mayor use crayons for his scoring?
No, everything. He typed everything.
Okay, I was just
Yeah,
wondering.
no, but I think you're referring to Karen, the consultant. She has terrible handwriting.
Okay,
That's who I
okay.
think you're referring to, that one, but no.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, we're okay. We're okay, thank you.
I have one.
Yes.
Do you think Barry Isaac could step right in today and pick up where they left off in December?
I think they can. But I would like to mention there were some discrepancies. Our elevator project hasn't been done, and they have done a great job with everything. I just think there was a timeliness issue. I think they have to work on that. They need to. How do I want to say? They need to step up their game and just make sure that they're on time with everything. I didn't have an issue with them per se. I'm down to the basics. It's almost springtime. I need to get my project started. The elevator project has been, 3 months behind now. The East End playground has to get done. Things have to get moving.
And I would think at this point then that it's not only as passing this, but maybe a communication issue for you to talk to them and make sure that everybody's on the same page so that we can get the projects moving once again. There have been, I understand the issue with the elevator, but I do think that there are others. We're talking grants that are CD grants that are part of some of the projects that need to be fulfilled right now. I think they're a good deal
Absolutely.
along the way. And I think, in fact, some of these will be looking at different phases yet to go in for more CDs that will become important. And so I don't know if you can go in midstream right now, if in another month some of these grants would need to be redone, or 2 months, whatever it case may be. So I think a communications thing between you and the engineer will become very, very important. And you know, we'll place that on your shoulders to make sure that you communicate with
Absolutely.
these people. That's all. Okay.
Thank you, Phil.
Anything
you.
else?
Thank you. Phil.
Okay.
Roll call?
Wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
Greg, can you come up? Fallon mentioned some timeliness issues and things like that. When,
Yeah,
can you
I can
addre-
explain.
Can you address that?
Yeah, absolutely. The
First, state your name.
Oh,
and-
Greg Pavlik, Barry Eisen Associate.
Okay,
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
we didn't know you were here.
Oh, sorry. The elevator project and some of the concerns that Fallon has laid out for us.
Thank you.
The reason why for the delay in the elevator project is when we were handed the project, we were handed a budget that was very low for the work to be done. When we got the budget, we looked at it and said, what does this budget include? We were told that Tyson Krupp, the elevator manufacturer, gave them a cost to complete an upgrade to the elevator. The number that we were provided was very low based on our experience in elevators. Elevator manufacturers are very difficult to get in charge with, and I did tell Fallon that from the beginning. We did put calls into the elevator manufacturer to try to get an idea of what the reason for the cost was, and we did not get return calls for quite some time. We did finally get a return call. When we did get a return call, they were not aware of what the price they gave or who they gave it to. We actually asked the city to go back to their files and take a look if they could find any information. They could not find any information of why they had that initial cost in there. We did again contact Tyson Krupp to try to find some more information. They did not get back to us, and Fallon will tell you she even tried to call and they did not get back to her. We decided as a team to go through a feasibility study and get other contractors on board, other elevator manufacturers, to try to step them up and make them act on it. When we were going through the actual feasibility study, the fire in the elevator happened, and Tyson Krupp realized that there was going to be work associated with it, and they ended up contacting us, and we finished the feasibility study. Lo and behold, the feasibility study was about $100 and some thousand, which was way over what their initial estimate was given, because there are some code issues, and the building or the elevator room has to be moved, and there are other issues associated with it. So that is why we did go, and there was some time lag to when they wanted to get the project done. I do understand the emergency side of it, but we had to get their budget in line, obviously, before we can get the project moving forward. We do have the feasibility study complete. It is submitted to the city as of January 1st, and we are ready to move on it at any time if so desired.
Were there any other, Fallon, did you have any other issues as far as time? It was just basically with the elevator?
And Greg and I work very well together. I just think that
Okay.
there was a miscommunication as to he didn't have all of his information, and because of
Okay, because of the elevator company. Okay.
Okay.
Any further questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Next, ordinances authorizing the vacation of a portion of 11th Street between Arthur Street and Taylor Court.
I'll
Pre-
present.
Second.
On the question?
Is anybody here for
Is
this?
anybody here from the family?
From the family,
Um,
from,
No, my suggestion on this, and I don't really have a problem with it because so much of it does reside within the township itself, and I guess it's the only thing that I'm concerned about in the entire ordinance is it does suggest here that everything is going to be paid for by the family, as far as engineering costs, searches, any work done that needs to be done in regards to this vacation. And I would like that
For the record.
much more so for the record stipulated that they will incur the costs. This is not for city council to have to incur anything, or the city.
Or the city. I agree.
All right, and it's in the resolution.
No, I know it says it there, Keith.
Just
All I'm
reiterating it
doing
in the
is
record.
Reiterating it?
Yeah,
Okay.
You know, sometimes, really what ends up happening is that somebody says, well, I'm going to incur the costs, and then there comes other costs along the way.
Yeah.
And everybody throws up their hands and says, well, I didn't know about this, and I'm not going to be a part of it. No, you are going to be a part of it because it's
Right.
your.
I mean,
it's your bill.
if they decide not to, then they don't get it. I mean,
Right,
it's pretty
exactly.
much plain and simple. If they don't incur all the costs, then, this is null and void.
Right, very
Well,
good.
it says any other costs incident here too, so.
Right.
That tells me everything.
Right,
So I think we're covered there.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
no.
Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes,
Mundy.
Yes. Appointment to the zoning hearing board, Michael Lee, resolution 2014-40.
I'll present it.
I'll second.
Has anyone talked to Michael Lee?
I mean, I know him.
You know him?
Yeah, since we were kids.
Is,
I think he's competent and capable enough to do it. I mean, I'm not like great friends with him, but I know him.
yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, I wish he would have come here to, if, for some questions we
He's not
would
here.
ask.
Is he here?
No.
I don't think he's here, but, I would, I would like the appointments that we make to come here. It's just, even it's to answer a question or two.
Or to meet them?
Just to talk to them. I mean, and I don't think that's a lot to ask. So, and I have I don't have an objection to him, but, maybe he could make it for the next meeting. Kevin, or Kate, could you call him or?
I mean, I can call him.
Call him? And
I know that, sometimes from what I remember, sometimes he works different hours, so.
Yeah, well, we could, you can give him enough notice if he could try and make it to a meeting and did anybody else have any questions or should we can make a,
I
you
don't
want to make a
really know
motion
him.
to table?
I don't know him at this point, so.
I mean, I read his resume.
Yeah.
His resume looked good. I
resume
know him from the
on-
gym, but that's.
Okay.
Okay, you want to make a motion to
I'll
table?
make a motion to table.
Second. Roll call?
Bast,
No.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes,
Mundy.
Yes. Next, Resolution 2014-41, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Direct Energy for energy procurement.
You have to amend this.
Okay, well, we have to
I'll
present it.
Yeah.
I'll present it.
Second, we're going to make a motion to amend it to pending approval by our solicitor,
That we can enter into a contract.
that we could enter into a contract with this company. On the amendment, or I'll make the amendment.
yeah, I'll second that amendment. Speaking on that amendment, I don't have a problem with pending the approval by the solicitor of whether we have the right. I do believe we have the right to deal with contracts from the code. My concern would be more so that the solicitor has reviewed it and please, Mr. Clifford, don't take this as an affront. I always feel better when a solicitor or our legal advisor or any lawyer has a chance to look over the language, know that everything is pristine the way it should be, and that's it. So I believe that should be a part of this. Not only the approval of a contract, but that it meets with legal advisors.
Okay, we'll add that to it.
Approval.
Okay,
Approval.
we'll add that to it.
Okay.
On the amendment? Roll call on the amendment?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Back on the amended resolution, roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. That's it for our resolutions. Comments from the audience? I'm sorry. One thing. I don't have a copy of the letter.
Which letter?
Bob's letter.
Oh, no, I don't have Bob's letter. You would have.
Okay, yeah, I forgot, I want to make a motion to suspend the rules and go off the agenda to accept the resignation of Bob Zientek.
Okay, I'll make the motion, or not the motion, but I'll second that to go off the agenda at this point.
Yeah. Roll call to go off the agenda?
Bast,
No.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Mundy, I'm sorry, Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Yeah, I don't have, I forgot his letter, it's at my office, but Bob, for personal reasons, has decided to resign from the Water Authority, and we should accept his resignation. There's no other, we have no other choice. I mean, he's having some health issues, but he's doing much better. And I would, like to make a motion that we accept his resignation. We're not doing anything now as far as filling the post. We're just accepting his resignation.
Okay.
I'll second that. Having seconded it, I would just like to say that I had the opportunity of serving a year with Bob Zientek on the Water Authority. And I found him to be a gentleman, and I found him to be very, very much concerned with the workings and the whatever would benefit the Water Authority and the workers of the Water Authority, and therefore the ratepayers of the authority as well. You don't work as long as the manager of the Water Authority and then later come on and offer your services again, which can be a headache in its own right. Anybody who serves on a board or commission or whatever knows precisely, and our good friends here who have to work every day in city government know precisely what I'm talking about as well. Bob Zientek is a class man. He is a gentle man, and I wish him all the best. I can't say enough about him and his efforts, and you don't work that hard and you don't get a building, the administration building, named after you if you haven't put in an awful lot of long hours and a lot of hard work to get where he got the Water Authority to get to. So I want to say thank you, Bob. We wish you well, and myself at least, as a member of this council, will not forget him. He's a wonderful guy.
Go ahead.
I had the pleasure of meeting Bob at the meetings, and I concur with everything that David has said, Mr. Sohar has said. He is a gentleman. He's done very well for the Water Authority, as well as what David said. You don't get a building named after you unless you haven't done an excellent job. I wish him well. I wish him good health and the best of luck in any of his future endeavors. And I'd like to thank him for his service.
If you want to say anything. I just want to say one or two quick things. I had the pleasure of working with Bob for 9 years. I was on the Water Authority for 9 years. He's a true gentleman. He cares about the city of Hazleton, and he cares about that Water Authority. He was instrumental in making it what it is today, which is a showpiece to the entire state. Senator Musto would bring senators from all over the state to show off the workings of the authority. When I was there, we built a 12-mile pipeline. I think it was 12 mile from the Lehigh River to the city. We received 2 Penvest loans of $40 million, and that's probably because of how it was run and under Bob Zientek. The building's named after him, and that's rightfully so. I don't know if they'll name anything after us when we're done. But I hope he gets well. He is getting better. He's feeling much better, and I wish him well. And maybe when he feels a little better, he could possibly come back on the board. But he's always welcome. He's done a great job while he was on the board. He did a great job as director of it, and I'm accepting his resignation with regret and wish that he could stay on there, because I know no one knows that Water Authority more than him, and he'll be missed. Thank you. Roll call?
Bast,
Yes.
Cassatt,
Yes.
Mope,
Yes.
Sosar,
Yes.
Mundy.
Yes. Comments from the audience? Sorry about that.
Sylvia Thomas from Hazleton. Do we have a budget or don't we?
That's what we're waiting to find out.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I had a whole speech written out here. I was going to give everybody help. Everybody said,
You believe we have a budget?
We
No.
believe there is a
Have one
legal
we
budget
passed.
in place, Sylvia.
okay, well, I was going to
That's disputed, but
let me
we
finish.
have a legal budget in place.
Okay, but I was going to tell everybody at those tables and everybody at that table off, because our city's in bad shape. And we're all worried about crime and drugs and gangs. But looking at that empty table, that actually scares me more than gangs and drugs. We better start working together, because our city needs help. I think he's are trying, but if he gives you that much trouble, if he won't cooperate with his, then there must be something you can do about it. Our city needs help. There's 25,000 people out there who are relying on you and people that are supposed to be sitting at that table to make a safe and affordable town to live in.
We agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? Go ahead.
Ted Sherrock, Hazleton. Please, I don't mean to nitpick, but I read an article in the paper that there was a lady, I think, was stopped from circulating a nominating petition because she didn't have a permit. Am I a criminal? I circulated a permit, or a petition, and I didn't get a permit. I didn't realize that was...
Well, I'm under the impression, from what I've read, I have a copy of the Constitution, and I have it on audio too, and I would like to give it to a lot of people, but I think you're allowed to do that because it's political, and you're not soliciting money, you're soliciting signatures. So I'm sure we're going to have a major problem with it. I don't know who the officer was, but I think we have a big problem.
The reason I got frightened, I said, how has a UN Agenda 21 hit Hazleton? That's what it said. And if anybody doesn't know what that is,
I know what that is.
Google it, because
know
it
what that
scared the
is.
daylights out of you.
Yeah,
This is still America, in spite of what everybody says about flags and everything else. And when I saw that you can't, now you have to get permission to circulate a nominating petition.
Well,
Whoever came up with that, unless
No,
it's
we know that you can't do that, but obviously some people don't know that, but I know that you don't need a permit
in order to do a political.
To do solicit
Well, I
solicit
sure
political
hope so.
signatures.
I have a hat over
Maybe
there
that
says,
some people don't want to follow the law in regards to that, Mr. Sherrod, but every one of these people here, and including people sitting over there, had to pass a petition around to get where we are. And I walked I won't say every street because these little legs can't go that far, but I walked many streets in this town trying to get petitions signed on my own. I walked them again when I campaigned door to door. And I would venture a guess that every single person here did the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
it was wrong. It should
believe
never have
it's
been
wrong.
allowed.
I walked and I can say I walked every single street in this city.
Yeah,
I'll guarantee you that.
You can get over the banisters. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to trump you because I did it in stilettos, okay?
but, you know, and again, I'm not picking, but I wear a hat that I'm very proud of. I'm a United States Army veteran, and when I saw that, I said I didn't put my time in. Fortunately, I was fortunate enough that it was during peacetime to have some second-rate policeman tear up a petition, nominating petition. I think that's a crime. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're just as appalled as you over what happened. So,
Thank
and
you, Teddy.
I hope we get to the bottom of it and see what truly happened. I know there's supposedly a lawsuit filed, and I'd like to get to the bottom of it and really know what happened. And we should be told what happened. I don't know. This administration doesn't like to tell anything about us. Doesn't let it inform us about anything, about lawsuits, about things that go on. We have to, it's like pulling teeth.
We have to read it in the paper or watch
Yeah.
it on TV.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. 'Cause you inform council.
Yeah. Any other comments? Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about of course, the blighted properties, but I don't think that's going to happen today. So I have a question about getting revenue into the city as far as like with this downtown project and everything. I have questions about it because I just came up from the county and they're talking about KOZs, and I think that it's prevalent that you guys should be talking about the KOZs and how they're given out, because right now the KOZ process is being taken advantage of and abused big time. I mean, $11 million, there was a property sold for $18 million that was under KOZ. The county missed out on $7 million. Okay, that's lost revenue right there. $7 million that the county missed out on. So that's just one example of a KOZ boondoggle. So all I'm saying is I think the city needs to take into consideration when it gives KOZ statuses to developers, because I'm not knocking on every developer, but I'm saying that to ensure that the city gets its revenue and that the developer does the right thing, I think the city needs to take precautions. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't fault any developer for making $1 or $10 million. I hope they make $10 million. So at least the city can, you know, be better off, and that we get the tax revenue that pays for the police and pays for, you know, the streets and pays for the fire. You know, that's all I'm saying. I think that's what the city needs to do. And also, as far as the blighted properties go, I think you guys need to do something with that, so that way the neighborhoods can be developed as well as the downtown, because as my father used to say, nobody's going to notice a diamond in the middle of a junkyard. That's right. So I'll have at it. All right.
Or are you going to thank us about Benish?
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah. So when we do something good, you should tell us. You know.
Okay.
Not just the bad stuff.
On the record, I thank the council for amending the resolution, and I think that ethics should be always taken into consideration because you always want to do the right thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Finally, we get an award.
Kudos. Any other comments from the audience? No other comments? You want to make a comment about Bob Zientek? Why don't you make a comment about Bob Zientek? You worked with him longer than me.
Well, yes, but I think you all pay them the respect he deserves, and I'm sure he'll be back in the swing of things soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, comments from the mayor and administrator? None. They're not here. Comments from junior council? No comments today?
We're okay today?
Keith, any comments?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I know Chris is sick, really sick today. That's why he's not here. I guess that your guys aren't here because they both went on vacation at the same time or something like that. And I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. Sorry I wasn't here at the last meeting. I had class and just something that came up with class that I couldn't get here. So, and everybody have a good weekend.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Rest of the week.
I have a couple of things I wanted to. I noticed that the ambulance contract is up tomorrow. I was just wondering if anybody thought it would be a good idea to put it on maybe the next meeting, to bring it up, to bring anybody, any interested party, to bring them in and see if they could provide any additional service.
I think, Jeff, I think that automatically renewed, believe it or not. I don't know.
But the
if
1
it's
year
up.
it would have, but
I think it that's my thinking, but you could be right. But I thought that
the automatic renew year would be the one that's up tomorrow. So it's actually
Tomorrow.
6 years.
Okay, but did it automatic renew for another year or another 5 years?
You'll have to find out
I
if
think
the
it was-
mayor,
yeah.
the mayor did it without a
Well,
spelling.
the mayor would have to notify them, but yeah, I agree with you.
Okay,
If you want to bring them into the next meeting?
Well, no, I just want to bring up a resolution for us to,
Well,
you
it
know,
might be a good idea.
I think everything should be opened up.
Right.
For them to come in and have a
Yeah, 'cause-
discussion with
right.
us, and like they did for the energy company
Yeah,
and for.
it's 6 years since we entertained anything from anybody else,
Yeah,
so I
and
think
from
I think it's
Benetcon,
time
you
that
know. Maybe at the next work session even. You know, that's up to whatever. I'm fine.
Joe,
for
does
it.
your contract have an automatic renewal in it?
It's with Blue Cross, so.
No, the one with us.
One with the consortium? Yeah. We'll just continue until the council decides to get out of it. So it's technically, I would say it's automatically renewed.
Well, what is it, a month before?
Well, we keep it 60 days prior, or 90, whatever, we try to keep it on track with Blue Cross.
Well, I
Do
don't.
you notify us that our renewal is up? Do you notify us?
Yeah, we try to come to council twice a year to give you updates on how the plan's performance is, so there's no surprises when the renewal comes up.
Oh, thank you, because yeah.
Met with the rate increase.
We lack information at council from the administration, so it's, important that you get it to us.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was also looking at some of these bills here, and I was wondering how, if we enter into a contract with a Hazleton company, why are we paying mileage to somebody to come here?
And that's a very good question, because if they don't have people in,
Then they shouldn't be using a Hazleton address as
Right.
their company. I mean, I can't ask them, there's no, but besides that, I never knew Bob Zentek, but I heard a lot about him, so I wanted to thank him. And then I wanted to thank Steve Hahn for his service for the last 18 months. I think he was a true gentleman that was willing to put extra time in and effort to work with me, council, and anybody else that asked him to. So I just want to thank him and thank everybody for coming.
doesn't matter. Well, first of all, I would like to agree with Jeff and thank Steve Hahn for the service that he gave to the city in the time that he was here. And he's always been a gentleman and gave us, when we asked for information, he was available to us, and he went out of his way to help everybody equally. All right, that being said, Teddy, when we hired our advisors, they already had their vacations set. They take off together, okay, and didn't realize that they would be working for city council. So I wasn't about to tell Frank, well, you can't go on your vacation to Africa that you already paid your ticket for. And I couldn't tell the other one, Charlie, that he couldn't go on his vacation that he already booked and paid for. But we flew by the seat of our pants for the last 2 years without a solicitor, so I felt we could do it again. Unfortunately, we didn't count on Chris not being here, and as Keith said, he's very ill with a health issue right now, and so he wasn't able to attend. But we made it through the meeting quite nicely, and next week we should have somebody here on board, or next meeting. And I'd like to thank the people once again for coming. I'd like to thank Direct Energy, Benecon, and everybody who spoke up and said their mind at council. We appreciate your input. We appreciate what you let us know, that if we're doing a bad job, which we hear a lot, or if we're doing a good job, which we'd like to hear a little more, okay? But thank you for coming, and have a nice night and a nice week.
It's hard when you come in towards the end because everybody has said everything that needs to be said. Thank you all. Thank you all for everyone who needed to speak and everybody who wanted to speak. It makes the information flow better here. Sylvia, I will agree with you. That empty desk over there right now is a shame. And we've all pointed to that a number of times. And I think that's wrong. But having said that, you understand that it's an invite that a mayor gets to the council. We actually look forward to the information that can be given out. We also look forward to answers that can be given to questions that we have, but we can't get them. And so we feel your frustration, believe me. And I'm not on here as long as what some of these other good people are, but I know the frustration level that everybody feels here. Having said that, we're going to go on, and we're going to do our work. And whether there is attendance here or whether there is not attendance here, we will get our work done. And I want you to know that. I think every member here, I won't speak for everybody, but I think I know the feelings for it. And people would not have run for this office, anybody, unless they actually really wanted to work for the best interest of this city. And I truly believe that. Having said that, we will move ahead. And we are going to get this city in decent shape. And that will be with or that will be without. Okay? Be rest assured, we're going to do the best that we can. And that's as much as we can say. Thank you for everybody for what you've been through tonight. I wish you well. Please stay healthy. They are talking about a lot of people getting this virus. So stay healthy because it's 62 today, but it's 14 on Thursday from what they said. So be careful. Be very, very careful. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sosa. I just want to say one or two quick things. Sylvia, we're going to, it's not our fault that we're not working. We're working what we think is right for the taxpayers of Hazleton. If working with the mayor means we have to agree to a tax increase, I'm not going to go along with that. And if that means I'm not working with the mayor, I'm not working with him. And I don't care if he comes to a meeting. I don't care if he ever comes to a meeting. But I'm not going to agree to a tax increase just to get along with the mayor and let him come to the meetings. I just want you to understand that. He's not here because he decided not to come here. It's not us, it's him. He decides that. And he decides, as far as the solicitor now, he's sick this week, but Chris, for the last year, didn't attend the meetings, and that's because of the mayor. So I just want you to know that. I mean, you're saying we should get along. Yeah, we're going to do what's right for the taxpayer of Hazleton. We're not going to do what's right for the mayor. And we don't have to get along. You know, if he has an idea, he wanted to raise taxes 83% 2 years ago. I told him he was crazy. I said, you're going to chase everybody at Hazleton, and I disagreed with them. And instead of an 83, a 43% tax raise got passed. But that's another story. But like I said, he could come to the meeting anytime he wants, and I'll always treat him with respect. He could speak his mind whenever he wants to. If he's doing something stupid, I'll tell him. If he's doing something right, I'll tell him. And that's the way we are going to be.
That's how we run it.
But with that, I just want to thank Steve Hahn. He was 18 months he was here? I know he spent a lot of time with you in the budget, straightening it out and getting it to where it is. You know, I read about the new person coming aboard. I saw his resume. You know, we're going to have to decide on that. But the other thing, I shouldn't have to read about somebody, you know, they sent out a memo. I don't know if he sent it out like right before they put it in the news, but, you know, I didn't check my emails, but he must have sent it, 4 o'clock?
It was to us, and it was to the news agencies.
Yeah, I guess at 4 o'clock.
And we have to get our information, and I'm not lying or fooling you. We have to get it from the newspaper or the television stations, because we don't know what's going on, and that's wrong. And that's been one of my major complaints, being left out of the loop, all right? And I don't want to find out that we've lost our city administrator through a memo. And I also don't like having an email sent to me that the only way I can contact the mayor is by a letter through the postal service or a hand-delivered letter, because he won't accept my emails. That is the problem, Sylvia. We try, but we need cooperation on the other side.
Yeah. Okay, with that, I just want to thank Steve Hahn again for his service, 18 months. He was a gentleman and always cooperated with us. You know, the council had no problems. This was the mayor. I mean, I know in the paper they're saying he had to decide a budget, but the budget has to be decided. I mean, our solicitor, you know, could have decided a budget and go on from there, but that's a whole nother story. You know, as far as what budget we're using, that's another story. We'll get that. We should get that straightened out maybe in the next week or two. But we're going to move on, and we'll be all right. And whether the mayor comes to these meetings or not, we run city government, and the mayor doesn't understand that he presents a budget to us, we pass it, we decide the amount of money should be spent and what's best to be spent for the taxpayers. The mayor suggests that, and then he administers that. But he doesn't understand this government, even though he was on council for, 8 or 12 years. And I've been on 12 years, too. But with that, and I just want to thank Bob Zientek again. He was a gentleman. He'll be missed at the Water Authority, but, you know, maybe once he feels a little better, and he is feeling better, maybe he could, he could come back and help the Water Authority in some way. With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Get a bigger one. Yeah. That's a little baby one.
I know, I gotta get you.
I have.
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 I